After you open the FMOD session, start by right-clicking in the event browser and add a 2D or 3D event. As we're not working with the game editor now, this doesn't really matter, and you can always change the spatialization afterwards. Drag a sound or more from your desktop or from your DAW. If your sound file have tempo information, right-click in the logic track and add a tempo marker. Right-click or F2 to change the tempo, and then you can drag the tempo marker to its position or right-click and move to position. And then you can change the grid to beats, which makes it easier to drag things around. Use the square brackets to zoom in and out, and Command or Control C and V to copy-paste. Right-click in the logic track to add destination markers. Then add a transition to the marker or change the destination in the deck. You can add more markers and transitions to create loops. Or you can add a loop region for a particular section or file. If you want to add transition that happens while a file is playing, we can add a transition region instead of a transition marker. And to trigger this, we need a parameter, so go to the plus sign and then add parameter sheet, new parameter sheet. The parameter types all apply change to something, and as I'm moving between two states, I'm simply going to use a label parameter for this. And then I'll add this as a condition to the transition region in the bottom part of the deck. And as this is music, we can quantize the change so the transition feels more natural. A longer transition can often work better when it comes to music. To add more variation, we can add more transition and more destinations, and then also add probabilities. And to create just some musical variations, we can just extend this with more transitions and then add probabilities to those. You can add more tracks by right-clicking in the track editor or use Control or Command T. Track heights can also be set here, or you can use Control or Command brackets to change the track heights. You can also drag in and organize sounds in the audio bin, so go to Window and then Audio bin, and in here you can also create folders and organize your sound that way. You can also add folders in the event editor to keep things nice and tidy. The mixer, which can be found under Windows, works a bit differently than it does in a DAW, and you're often better to do premixes in the event editor. When you're working in the FMOD mixer, the events aren't added automatically, and you need to create groups or returns for them to appear in the channel section. As you're often working with sound and music in one singular event, you often don't need the mixer until later in the process. Hopefully this was useful, and happy game audio!